Hi there, welcome to another video here from Howard Piano Industries. We're going to be showing you today just a basic method of polishing up pedals or other type of hardware. Oftentimes they'll get you know corrosion on them, or they'll get dirty or dingy looking, especially the pedals and other brass or nickel plated or nickel hardware. There's a couple different things you can do to polish up the brass pieces, but we're just going to show you a simple way today. What I do is a product called Noxon 7. There are other metal polishes as well, but this is the one I've always used. Flitz is another one that we used like on the A-graphs and center pin, balance rail and front rail pins and so forth. But like for the brass pieces, I tend to like to use Noxon 7. So we're going to show you, as you can see, these are brass pedals, and I've done the one on the left already. As you can see, there's a big difference in appearance from the left pedal to the middle pedal. The right pedal, as you can see, this is kind of ugly looking as well. But the right pedal, you might notice where you put your foot, because it's used all the time. It might actually be a little bit shinier than the other two pedals because it gets used so much, and that gets kind of somewhat polished by your foot when you're playing that pedal. So you can see that the front of this is. It looks somewhat polished, even though up here is kind of dingy looking compared to that one. But you can see that's because it gets pushed on by the foot, and that kind of rubs some of the dirt off, or corrosion off, or so forth. So I'm going to just show you how easy this is. I just take a regular paper towel. I mean, you can use like the microfiber cloth or something like that, but because I usually like to just throw them away, I'll just tend to use a paper towel. Noxon 7 you have to shake up before you use, just because it does settle after it's been sitting for a while. So I'll just put some on my cloth here, or my paper towel, and then I'll just rub a little bit on the surface of the pedal, and then just continue rubbing it. You can let it sit a little while so that it kind of works its way into the corroded stuff as it sits longer. And as you can see, it's starting to shine up fairly quickly. And just keep rubbing. And at some point you want to add probably a little more of the polish or cleaner. This is actually a cleaner and polish all in one. So you just put on a little bit more. Now, when you do the pedals, you can do it this way if you're not in the process of taking everything apart, but it actually is easier to do the polishing of the pedals, if you've got them taken out. Like if you've got an upright piano, sometimes they're a little bit difficult to get out. But if you're replacing all the felts and so forth on a grand piano pedal lyre, it's much easier to do the polishing of these pedals with the with the pedals out of the lyres. So you can do it that way. This is just I'm just showing it this way, to kind of demonstrate that it can be done without having to disassemble the whole piano. Now, once you've got it kind of mostly polished, you can take the clean part of the rag or paper towel or whatever it is you're using, and you want to kind of buff that up a little bit, and that's what kind of brings it to a really good shine. I probably could have gone a little bit further with this one, and actually once the Flitz, which is another product that I mentioned, it does work really good. If I were to use that on this, it would shine it up even more. The Flitz goes one step further. It doesn't clean the majority of the stuff off as well as the Noxon 7, You know, so typically that's why I just try to use Noxon 7 first. But if I were to go back over this with the flits, you know, it looks pretty good now, but you'd notice a big difference in kind of that extra step of, you know, to make it even much more shiny. If you were to use the flits after you use the Noxon 7. So if you're polishing things such as, like, for example, agraffs, you know, what I'll usually do is, because those are usually pretty grungy looking over the years, what I'll do is I'll use the Noxon 7 first, and then I will go ahead and finish them off with the flits. So that's kind of a good way to do it. But now we'll go to the right pedal here, and so as you can see, that polished up pretty quickly. And so this one will continue on, but we'll leave it there for now, anyways. But you can see that it's fairly simple process to polish those up. It only takes a few minutes and makes a big difference in the appearance of your brass parts. If you have any other questions, just feel free to let us know. Our website is howardpianoindustries.com.